Hello, we're going to talk about WordPress right now. If you don't know what you don't know about WordPress, this little video should at least give you a good enough understanding that you'll be able to Google anything you would ever need to know. WordPress started a number of years ago as an open source blogging platform. It's undergone quite a lot of change in those years. It has grown probably the biggest community of any web platform and has become known as the world's most popular CMS. It's actually used on quite a number of even very high profile sites and is incredibly easy to use. So let's take a quick look through. If you were to get started with a WordPress site today, there's two ways you can go. One, you could sign up at wordpress.com for what they call their cloud solution. Essentially, you would just sign up. You end up with a domain like wordpress.com/whatever, and you just go from there. The company WordPress takes care of all the hosting and tricky parts. The other solution is to find your own host, and you get a little bit more control, but essentially you install your own WordPress. And I'm not 100% sure all of the intricate differences, but one of the main ones is you'll have control over the database. You can add tables to it, which some plugins will require. If you were going to look at installing WordPress, you would probably come to wordpress.org and go to the big download button. And one of the tremendous things is the famous 5-minute installation. We're not going to go through this right now, but it's pretty simple if you have just a basic understanding of FTP and setting up like PHP, MyAdmin, or using that. But we're not going to get too into that right now. Let's actually just jump right into WordPress. This is an installation that I just did. We're going to set it up right now. You should actually never use the username admin. It's going to, that's interesting. Being the #1 most popular platform in the world means they're also the #1 most targeted platform in the world. And you don't want a super guessable username like admin, because that will get hacked. Let me see here. All right. So right now WordPress is adding some tables or something. Okay, we're going to log into the back end for the very first time as the administrator. I've got Google Chrome remembering the password for me. Handy. All right, so this is our first time in the back end of our WordPress site. Let's expand that menu. Right out of the box, WordPress is actually a pretty powerful platform. We'll take a look at the front of the site right now. By default, there should probably be one thing called a sample page, and there'll be a sample post as well. All right, here we go. Test WordPress site, that's the name we chose. Here's the first post on our blog called Hello World. We've got a footer down here with some widgets in it, and a page which will be completely different. Ooh. The design of this site right now is called a theme. This WordPress theme happens to be called 2013, and it's a totally responsive theme as well. Ooh. Very cool. Let's go play around with the back end of this. If we wanted to change the theme, we could go into the appearance menu, go to themes. Themes there are thousands of them that you can search through. It's essentially what the content of the site is going to be dressed up with. Down here, you can see all the other themes that are on this server. There's just one other one. We could actually go to install themes, and right from this interface, we'll be able to download other themes from wordpress.org without even having to get into FTP or anything like that. So I could do another look for responsive. Let's see here. Bam, right there. I could install this now. I could even do just a preview. And it's just kind of a neat way to style up your site. There are also premium themes from sites like Woo Themes or Theme Forest that you can buy and upload to your site. You would do that through upload here or with something like FTP. The one caution I have against some of those premium themes is they come with a lot of extra bells and whistles like accordions and other shortcode things that if you were to ever switch themes, a lot of functionality on your site might break. That's all we're going to look at for themes right now. That is just one of the big things. There's also plugins is another one of the massive features of WordPress. Out of the box, WordPress does quite a bit, but it doesn't do everything. It does try to stay as sparse as it can. And so there are certain things that you're going to want to add to your site, like, let's say, the Google sitemap. So we could come to plugins. I see that we have 3 here, only one is activated, but we could just, in the same way as themes, add plugins. So we'll search Google XML sitemap. And that's not going to work. But maybe if I type it right, it will. Let's see here. The quality of plugins varies, and as you can see here, there are literally dozens of plugins that claim to do this job. This is one I've actually used before, so I'm going to install it now, and then I'm going to activate it. The complexity of plugins, of course, ranges. I believe this plugin has very few settings. Where we go? In fact, it may not actually have any settings. We could just actually take a look here for sitemap.xml. Although looking at this, it's a little off topic for what we're doing in this tutorial. Other plugins like WP Super Cache, a caching plugin as an example, have a ton of options. So that's really different on a plugin per plugin basis. Another important feature that WordPress comes with is comments. This will be the content, or this will be on the posts of your site. If I were to scroll down here, I could leave a comment. Other users visiting the site will actually have the option to leave usernames and email addresses. You can configure all the settings for how strict that is. Out of the box, WordPress comes with 2 post types. There are posts, which you would use on like news items or blog posts, and there are pages, which you would use for more set content like about us and contact us. The creating and managing of pages and posts are essentially the same. If you go into them, you'll have the title area and you'll have the body content area. Let that load. It's got a very familiar interface, sort of the WYSIWYG you might expect to see. What has made WordPress be more than a blogging platform, in my opinion, is custom fields. And I won't get too far into this. It's usually hidden under screen options. I'll display it here. From here, we can add metadata to this page. Whether it's a page or a post, you can add something like price and assign this data to this page or post, and you have a lot of control over like the way you can stick that onto a page and interact with this data. This is like the most powerful thing about WordPress. You can do so much with this that we won't really cover in here, but it's good to know that it exists. Just to quickly go through the rest of sort of the top level features, there is a media library. Every image or PDF or whatever that you upload into WordPress will be logged into that media section, and it'll tell you what posts it's associated with. WordPress also features pretty robust user functionality where you can create new administrators or authors or editors. There are various roles, each with different capabilities. And the settings feature many settings. An example one that you'll almost always want to tackle right away is setting your permalinks to be human readable, sort of friendly URLs. We'll just save that now. Our sample page is going to go from being page ID equals 2 to being sample-page. The best things about WordPress, though, are how well documented it is. If you have any problems on WordPress.org, there is a forum. Almost every problem that's ever been had has been documented by people nerdier than you. And of course, Google will be your best friend. There are so many people in this community who are just so willing and happy to help. It's really incredible. And I hope your experience developing WordPress has been as awesome as mine.